that Donald Trump has officially became the GOP nominee, it is setting up to be a rematch of 2020. Side Joe Biden's approval rating is sitting at 38% heading into a re-election year. Does this affect the presidential map? Let's take a look. Even though Joe Biden's approval rating is sitting at 38%, it's definitely some states that he will win. States include Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, Illinois, and at-large in its first district, Vermont, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Delaware, Maryland, Rhode Island, and D.C. And surprisingly, that's it. Now we can go into all the safe states that are for Donald Trump: Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska at large in its first and third district, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Alaska, and West Virginia. Now let's go to Ohio, a state that has taken a far-right turn in the past couple elections. The RCP average has Trump up by 9.5. This is a likely state. Two pollsters in the RCP average have polled Iowa, and they found Trump up 11.5, making this a safe state for him. Both Ohio and Iowa have taken far-right turns. I think you guys have heard me talk about this enough. Let's get into our two districts that aren't on the RCP average. Let's start with the competitive one. Maine's first district is a very district which Trump tends to do well with. This is a likely district. Now, Nebraska's second district is going to be a lot more competitive. Joe Biden won it by 6.5% in 2020, and Trump won it by around 2% in 2016. Right now, Nebraska's second congressional district, a tilt Joe Biden, but this district could actually decide the election. If you want more detail, go check out this video. It gives a full rundown of a Joe Biden and Donald Trump tie. There's two more likely Republican states. I think you guys know what those states are, but before we get into those states, much appreciated if you guys could hit the subscribe button and the like button. This helps us reach out to newer audience members who get a unbiased view of everything. Now that I got all that advertisement out of the way, let's go to the two likely states for Republicans, which are Texas and Florida. Right now, the RCP average in Florida is 10%, making it a likely state for Republicans. In Texas, Trump holds a 8-point lead, making it a likely state. Trump won Texas by 5.8% in 2020, but this year it is not shaping out to be as competitive. Now let's go to New Hampshire, where Joe Biden's polling numbers actually look pretty solid. Purple-ish state, but it tends to lean more to the Democrats, but Joe Biden actually leads by 8, making it a likely state. Let's go to Virginia, where Joe Biden won it by 10.1%. As a inhabitant of Virginia, I was honestly shocked on election night that Joe Biden won it by double digits. I knew that he would win it. I didn't think he would win it by 10.1% though. But the current RCP average has Joe Biden up by around 4%, making Virginia actually a lean state. Now, polling numbers in the past overestimated support for Republicans in Virginia, so I don't think Joe Biden's only going to win it by 4%, but I do think he win it less than 10%. Let's check our current electoral vote count. Trump at 219, Joe Biden at 201. So far, it's a pretty competitive race. We don't have any RCP polls out of New Mexico, but this should be a state where Joe Biden should win between 7 and 12%. Now let's go into a similar situation in Colorado. Joe Biden won it by an unprecedented 13.5%, crushing Hillary Clinton's record by winning by 5%. Colorado turned even more Democratic in the 2020 election. But this year, Joe Biden is up by 6.5%, making it a lean state for him. Now let's go into our final lean state, Minnesota. I think Minnesota is going to be the state that will tell us what will happen in the 2024 election. If Minnesota is competitive like in 2016, Trump is winning the election. If it is not really competitive and Joe Biden wins it by around 6 or 7%, then Joe Biden has a pretty good chance of winning the election. But if it's around 3 or 4% and it's close but Biden is leading, the election is going to be very close. So right now I'm putting it as a lean state. The current RCP average has Minnesota or Biden by 3%. Of course, Hillary Clinton only won by 1.25%, and in 2020, Biden carried it by 7%. Now let's get to our battleground states. Let's first knock out North Carolina and Georgia. In North Carolina, Trump is currently leading by 5.7%. It's a state that he won in 2020 by 1.3%, gaining the reputation as not a lean Republican state, but a pure battleground state. As of right now, North Carolina is a lean GOP state. In Georgia, Trump is leading by 6.5%, making it a likely state for him. At this point, I think everybody realizes that Georgia will not stay Democrat. If Georgia stays Democrat, then the entire election is already over. Now let's go to our real battleground states. First, let's go to Nevada, where Trump is leading by 7.7%. Obviously, if Trump wins by 7.7%, he probably won all 50 states. That's an exaggeration, but not that far from the truth. In my previous video, I talked about how Nevada is turning more and more red, but I find it hard to believe that Trump will win it by 7.7%. It's definitely realistic that it flips, but just for now, I'm just going to call it a lean state because likely it's just not realistic. In Arizona, the RCP average shows Trump up by 5.5%, making it a actually likely state for him. I expect Arizona to be a bit closer on election night, so again, I'm going to put it as a lean state. Trump in the past 5 months has gained ground in some key battleground states, making him the slight favorite to win the election. In Pennsylvania, Biden holds a 0.8% lead, making it a tilt state for him. Pennsylvania has been trending a bit more left in the past elections, but it's still a battleground. I do think if RCP average is who favor Trump this election cycle, have Joe Biden up in Pennsylvania, it's a pretty good chance he might win the state. So we're going to keep it as a tilt state. Now let's go to Wisconsin, where Trump holds a 1% lead. This is a tilt state. Wisconsin is going to be one of the closest states in the 2024 election, both candidates winning it by a bit under 1%. But for now, it is a tilt state. Now our final state, Michigan. Trump's already at 278. Trump holds about a 3.5 lead here in Michigan, making it a lean state, delivering the victory for Donald Trump, 245 to 293, based on the RCP poll averages. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support recently as I have been trying to upload more and more. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.